Okay. Sorry, I wanted to stop the video and kind of check the sound first, because it's really hit or miss if I have on headphones. Like, sometimes the sound quality is like really good and sometimes it's just ass. So yeah, but we're gonna get into your energy, and yeah, and we're just gonna see what's going on. We're gonna see what's going on. I'm using my Mystic Mondays tarot deck. I've had this one for a long time. I typically use this one if I like read for myself, but yeah, I was like, you know what, I think it's time. I haven't used it to do a collective reading yet, so I felt called to. So if you can hear like all the like little noise in the background, that's just my dog chewing on his bone. He should be taking a nap, but he's not, so he's gonna get loud. He's gonna be loud, and we have to deal with that. So on the bottom of the deck right now we have the Devil. But obviously, like, you know, that's just the bottom of the deck. I just pulled the deck out. It was like this. Like, it was actually like that before I started shuffling, and it's been like that since I started shuffling. And the Five of Cups. So maybe some, like, murky, dusty... Maybe we're dealing with some dusty, crusty energy. Oh my goodness, the amount of shaking is actually getting insane. But we're gonna persist. What is Collective's energy right now? What is their overall energy right now? Okay. Okay. So... you're in some sort of energy, like a defensive energy. Maybe you're a bit in your ego. Maybe you're not. You're kind of in a defensive, egoic energy right now. I'm not gonna lie, I can't lie to you about that. But it's not coming off as intentional. It's coming off as you are... You need to tell me, there's a gap here. What's missing? What's missing? Clarify the moon. Okay. So right now, you're really in this mode. You might be feeling defensive. You might be feeling hurt. You might be a little bit in your ego. But I see here it's because you're alchemizing some sort of pain that you went through, right? So you're trying to heal and alchemize some sort of misfortune. You're trying to transmute this energy here. But sorry, my cat is trying to walk all over this spread. But you're removing illusions, and you're actively searching for some sort of truth. Posy, please. I love you, but please just lay down or something. You don't have to mess with it. Oh, here he comes. baby. Okay. Come here. Come here. Oh. No, let go. I love you. Okay, so you're trying to alchemize whatever this is, whatever pain, whatever happened here, whatever, maybe it's like childhood trauma, maybe it's, you know, a relationship trauma, or, you know, I don't know, whatever this negative energy is here, or whatever these negative beliefs are, you're trying to transmute them. You're trying to find the truth right now, and you're trying to alchemize into some sort of new beginning, something that you feel is rooted in truth, stable, something you're passionate about, potentially a connection that you're passionate about, because I do, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords that came out here, and then we also have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. So potentially trying to alchemize it into some sort of new beginning. A lot of new beginning energy here. The only ace that I haven't seen yet is the Ace of Cups. And you do have a lot of momentum. It doesn't necessarily look like it on the spread, but behind all of those cards, we have the Chariot, and that is swift moving energy. So maybe it's something you can't see it actively moving, and maybe the reason you're feeling a little bit defensive and a little bit like in your self-doubt is because you can't actually see the movement, and you're actively putting in work to alchemize this, and you don't think anything's happening. You think this is all in vain. What are they trying to alchemize here? What are they trying to alchemize? Like, what sort of situation? I don't know. This may just be like you're deconstructing your whole life. So like recently I've been working on The Artist's Way, and last night I think I've been putting it off. I've had the book for a while now, but I've been putting off actually like doing any of the stuff. I've been doing morning pages, and that's about it. But I finally read the first week last night, and I sat down and I kind of went through it was essentially a exercise to see, you know, where these inner critical voices are coming from that are like stifling your inner artist. And I kind of went through all of those, and I found like a lot of like core memories and core beliefs that weren't actually my own. You know, because you're supposed to find them, identify their voice, all of that type of stuff. Maybe it's something of that nature where you're kind of deconstructing your life here, because there's no specific, I'm not getting any specific area of life. I've got the Seven of Cups here. So like illusions and stuff, but on the Seven of Cups, like if you look in each cup, it has something different. So maybe it's just all areas of your life that you're trying to cut through all the bullshit, cut through all the illusions, and find the truth. All the confusion, all the illusions, and to see the truth here. You're wanting a stable, emotionally fulfilling new beginning, something that brings you a lot of joy, passion, stability, emotional stability. That's what you're working towards. but you're alchemizing like a whole lifetime of trauma, whole lifetime of pain, whole lifetime of energy, just carrying energy that's not yours, right? So carrying energy that's not yours, a lifetime of pain. And you're trying to see which of these, what things that you can keep. Like you're essentially spring cleaning. I mean, I know it's fall to winter, but you're essentially like going through all of your stuff and being like, except like trauma wise and like belief wise and like how you want to live the next chapter of your life. You're going through all your stuff, clearing out your baggage so that you're not taking it into the next chapter of your life with you. Okay, so that's your energy right now. That's your current energy. What are your current blockages? What blockages are you hitting? Okay. 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 So there may be something that's literally stopping your momentum right now is attachment to what your idea of all of these things were. So your old sense of self, old things that brought you happiness, old cycles that brought you happiness. You may have been in like connections before. You may have been a people pleaser, and you may have been in connections before that didn't actually serve you or didn't actually fulfill you emotionally, but you're still hung up on those things. You're still hung up on the future that you thought you wanted, that wasn't good for you. Like you're stuck on something that wasn't actually emotionally fulfilling in practice, but in your imagination, in your wildest dreams, and in the potential of it, it was actually fulfilling. So that's where the blockage is coming in, because you're stuck on an old timeline. You're wanting to hold on to whatever this wish fulfillment was and whatever you thought was going to bring you happiness. You're stuck on it. You may also, because we went from a page here, a page of cups, to the king and queen of cups. Sorry. To the king and queen of cups up here. So like this is where you're headed. Like this is what you're wanting, along with the ace of wands and ace of pentacles. So you're wanting a brand new stable beginning, an equal partnership. You just want things to be balanced overall. You want to be happy. However, you're still hung up on whatever you thought was going to bring you happiness that didn't. So you're still stuck in that. And it wasn't as emotionally fulfilling as you wanted it to be, but maybe you're like, oh, but it wasn't that bad. Like maybe you're having some sort of like, I saw this thing recently, and it's like, you know, when you graduate high school and you actually didn't really like high school and all of that, but you're overcome with emotion and you're like, oh, like maybe it actually wasn't that bad. That's the kind of vibe you're on. It's like, oh, maybe it actually wasn't that bad, but it was that bad. Like this is what it was giving. But you're like, oh, but at one point I thought it was going to give me this. I wanted it to give me this. So you're stuck on the illusion that like, this could have offered me happiness at some point. But that's what you're entirely stuck on potential. It's not actual, like none of it actually came to fruition. It was all just potential. But you're working on it though. You're working on it. But it requires a lot of healing. It requires a lot of, you know, for the love of God. Cozy! Oh my God. No, see, and this is, no. Go do something else. Bother your brother. I don't know. Just don't bother me, please. No. Because you can't just, no. No. Because you don't just lay down. Like, you want to be in my space too bad. I don't want to hang out right now. I will hang out after. Okay. No. Posy. Sleep there. Lay there. No. Sorry. Posy is like I said, very touchy-feely. He has to be in my space, in my energy, all the time. I love him, but I do get overstimulated by him because he won't stop jumping on my damn table. And you're not supposed to be up here anyway. Sorry. Distracted me from the dang reading. What's something that the collective isn't seeing? What aren't they seeing that would help them potentially get unstuck? What aren't they seeing? You're not seeing here that you actually don't have to be sad about this. I know that seems like very, like, what does that even mean? But like, you can choose to just move away from this sadness or this attachment you feel to it, because I don't know, like, I know I can feel that it wasn't fulfilling in the way that you needed it to be, even though there was love here, and there was happiness here, and there was some sort of wish fulfillment, but it wasn't, like, and this sounds bad, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't like you deserved more, right? So even though it was wish fulfillment, even though it was happiness, even though it was all of these things, you wanted and deserved more than what you were getting. Maybe you had to maybe you're someone who put in more work than others into your relationships, into partnerships, like work partnerships, like personal relationships, because you thought, like, if I work harder, if I do more, if I carry more, like, things are gonna be good. We're gonna be happy because I'm just gonna pick up the slack and everything's gonna be fine. And that just wasn't the case. But you can just choose to move away from that. I know that sounds so simple, but it can be more difficult actually in practice than when I'm just sitting here saying it. But that's what it's saying. It's like you can take a leap of faith away from feeling sad. Like, you don't have to feel sad. You don't have to wallow in this to know that it meant something. Maybe deep down, the reason you're so hung up, it could be the reason that you're so hung up on whatever this is because you never wanted to give up on it, and it did mean something to you, because it obviously was important to you. If it brought you happiness, or you thought it was going to bring you happiness, and you thought that it was going to be your wish fulfillment. Sorry, there's a little fly. If you thought it was going to be your wish fulfillment, and you thought it was going to bring you happiness, maybe you're holding on to that, like, you're like, oh, the memories and the sadness is all I have left. But it's like, no, like, you can choose to move away from that sadness. Like, just because you choose to move on with your life and not wallow in it, and, like, you choose yourself and you choose your new beginning, doesn't mean it was meaningless. Like, it can still have meaning and it can still be important to you and personal to you. Tell me more. Okay. So you're just a little bit, yeah. You're just a little bit too hung up on whatever situation happened. You're focused on the pain. You're not kind of going within to see like, hey, this wasn't actually what I wanted it to be. Like, you can know that logically and still not feel that emotionally. But it wasn't emotionally fulfilling. It did cause a lot of pain. You are hurt. But once you move away from that hurt, once you move away from that hurt, so once you move away from the Three of Swords here, once you start to heal from that, and once you start to look inward, and once you are at the point where you can kind of look at it and know that, like, yes, it meant something to you, and yes, it was important, like, literally, once you can let it go here, once you're done with it, that's when your true wish fulfillment comes in. So I'm so sorry that it's like that on the thing. But the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups here, that's when your wish fulfillment comes in. That's when the stability comes in. That's when the emotional fulfillment comes in. And that's like long-term stability, long-term emotional fulfillment, which wasn't present in anything before. You had the possibility of it. You had the potential for those things to exist. But whatever situation that was, it wasn't conducive to growth. Like, whatever that situation was, it was working against you and not working with you. Leaving you stuck. Yeah. Okay, what's next for the collective? What's next for them? What do they need to know before I send them on their merry way? Oh, shoot. Okay. What do they need to know before I send them on their merry way? I just heard a hawk. That's so funny. I've actually never heard it sound... I heard it again. I've never heard it sound so hawk-like. That's so funny. You have to leave it behind. Take the lessons with, like, look inward and, like, whatever lessons you learned, it was for a reason. Whatever love you felt, it was for a reason. Everything was for a reason, but you weren't meant to stay in that energy. You were meant to move. You were meant to find your... You were meant to find your stable beginning, brand new beginning. You were meant to find your long-term stability, your long-term emotional fulfillment, your passion. Take whatever it taught you and take whatever... You need to go inwards. You need to go inwards and see what things are holding you back, whether they're narratives from other people, places, things you were taught growing up, whatever. The Hermit just fell out here. Whatever this is, you need to go in and look at the whatever shadow you got going on that is not in conflict. So it seems like you're already doing it, and the advice is to just keep doing that. Look at all of the narratives, all of the beliefs, all of those types of things, all the lessons you were taught up into to this point, and take what resonates and leave the rest. Am I right? But yeah, you're being called to go within, look at whatever you were taught, because there's something here. There's internal conflict here. Like, there's a lot of internal conflict here. It almost feels like, because the moon came out in the first like round of cards, right? The moon came out, and it almost feels like that. It's almost felt like that the entire time. Like, I'm not able to get a full grasp on what's going on. I just know that there is some sort of internal conflict going on due to deconstructing whatever beliefs that you built your foundation on, that you built your life on, right? So there's been some sort of ending, or you're making some sort of ending, and you're going within and you're deconstructing these layers of trauma, these layers of ego, these layers that aren't even yourself. And you're in search for self. You're in search to find balance. You're in search to move and live in truth and find, like, end goal. You want stability, end goal, you want happiness, and you want it forever, you know, essentially. Like, that's your goal. But right now you're just kind of sorting through inner conflict. You're kind of in a hermit mode, and your advice is to just keep doing that. Keep doing you. Keep searching. Keep soul searching. It doesn't feel like it's kind of like an active, like, all day, every day. Like, take rest where it's needed. Find balance where it's needed. But also, don't stop exploring this avenue, because whatever it is you're doing, it's working, and it is leading to where you want to go. You just can't see it yet because you're in the thick of the emotions. You're in the thick of deconstructing your ego, deconstructing your beliefs, deconstructing things that were built upon your foundation that don't belong there. So whatever this is, don't stop, keep going, and it will bring you the results that you're looking for. I can guarantee that. Fives might be significant for you. 555. Change. Lots and lots of change. Alright, that's all I got for you. Nothing's really speaking to me right now. That's all I kind of got for you. Oh, hold up. Be honest with yourself about whatever these things are. Like, you have to be completely honest with yourself. There's no hiding from yourself. There's no lying to yourself. If you do that, the only person that it's going to hinder or affect is yourself. Like, do not lie to yourself about these things. You have to be ready to kind of lay yourself bare to yourself. You have to be ready to really go within and be honest about these things. And like right now, like I said, you're looking a little bit defensive, you're looking a little bit egoic, which is totally normal, but you have to get to a point where you give yourself enough space and you give yourself enough grace and ease to go within, because the blockage here is that you're not doing as much self-reflection as you need to be. Maybe you're blaming a lot of outside influences, which is completely fine. Like there could have been a lot of outside influences, but you have to be honest with yourself about how you let those things, about how letting those things run your life affected your life. Like you have to also be willing to take accountability for running on these unconscious programs when you knew not to. Because I was talking about this earlier, but I was talking about intuition and how like people talk about it as this thing that's like so elusive and magic, and like you open your third eye chakra and one day suddenly you just know all of these things and you have access to this magic power, when in reality it's not really like that. Intuition is something you've always had. It's whether you choose to listen to it or not, right? And so like people are probably more willing to listen to it when they're consciously aware of what it is. So that's why when you start getting into spirituality, you start getting into the chakras and things like that, you're more willing to listen to it because you have an understanding of what it is. But that doesn't negate the fact that it was always there and you chose to ignore it, right? You chose to run these programs and these ideas and thoughts and beliefs that other people placed on you instead of listening to your intuition. So there has to be that accountability, and you may be even upset at yourself for it. Don't be upset at yourself. Just notice that like that was something that you were doing and make a conscious decision not to do that in the future, right? So it's not something, your intuition and stuff, like it's not something that just magically appeared. Like it was always there, you were just ignoring it. Me too, everybody does it. But yeah, be conscious of what you are placing on other people, and be aware of what's actually your fault, and just be honest with yourself, because it's giving really good, really deep, in-depth healing energy. It's very confusing. It feels like I'm very confused. Like the energy is very confusing. Like it's straightforward and it knows what it wants. It has a purpose. It knows what it wants, but overall the energy is very muddled. It won't be forever. It will be clear. I do see clarity here, but yeah. All right. Thank you. And I will see you next time.